What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, and welcome to Wednesday's film theme of the month, Hearts for Holidays, where every Wednesday we are going to be reviewing films that is specifically themed around the holidays, whether it's Christmas, whether it's New Year's, things of that nature. Even if the movie isn't even about Christmas per se, if they got Christmas decorations, baby, we're watching it. All right, all December long. Every Wednesday, I'm going to be right here, okay? Whatever you're listening to me out of, whatever you're watching me on, I'm going to be right here every Wednesday. And for the month of December, it's all about love. We all know that the holidays can be really hard for some people. It can be marred with some very, very sad feelings and things of that nature. And sometimes it's just all about like hearing the thing that you're supposed to hear at the right time, greeting somebody at the time that they need it the most. And so I already, like, every day kind of go about my life like you never know when talking to somebody if what you say is going to be the thing that takes them from one moment to another, and that's whether going from despair to like holding on to life or vice versa. So not only do I try to practice that every day in my life, I decided for December, you know, not only just bringing movies, it's like, oh, Christmas and presents and stuff like that, but finding movies that kind of hit on some themes and stuff that we would like to feel in the month of December, like love, or like truly giving back, like finding faith, finding inspiration and passion within oneself outside of, you know, going to the mall and trying to get all the Christmas gifts and things of that nature. So every Wednesday, that's what we're doing here. And the fun part about the movies this month is every single movie that I'm reviewing, I have not seen at all. So for the rest of my days, obviously I'm going to be, you know, throwing in movies like Almost Christmas and stuff like that because it's super hilarious. But I was like, you know what? Why not for the month of December put movies out that I haven't seen either, so that the review that you're given is completely unbiased. I don't have any preconceived notions, and I don't have anything to kind of grasp onto or any nostalgia like clouding what I say to y'all. So yeah, that's what we're doing this month. I have no idea what I'm doing for the month of January, and this year is almost over. So if you have a theme for January, please leave it in the comments below. I would be so excited to explore some of the things that y'all would like to watch and things that you would like for me to review next month. Okay, with that being said, today we are reviewing BET Plus's Brewster's Millions Christmas. Now, if this sounds familiar to you, it's because it is the sequel, and it's the sequel to the original movie Brewster's Millions, which was done in 1985, starring Richard Pryor and, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, John Candy. I was gonna say Jack Candy. John Candy. Richard Pryor was Montgomery, aka Monty Brewster, and John Candy played the character Spike Nolan. Now, do you have to watch the original movie in order to watch this film? Absolutely not. One of the beautiful things that Brewster's Millions Christmas does in a sequel that not a lot of people are able to capture is it pays homage to the Brewster name. It pays homage to Richard Pryor. It pays homage to just the whole theme of the original movie, while doing something completely different, completely new, and completely fresh for the family, especially centering it around the holidays. So the original movie, if you want to watch it, it's about a minor league baseball player played by Richard Pryor, who goes by the name Monty, and he must spend $30 million in 30 days in order to inherit $300 million. However, he's not allowed to own any assets, destroy the money, gift it, give it to charity, or tell anybody about the deal that is going on. So the heart of the synopsis of the original movie is here with the new movie. So let's get into, you know, some of the information, cast information, and then we'll go over the log line and you'll see the similarities. So this movie is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Again, I love movies that are just like in the 90-100 minute realm or less. Keep doing it. The writer is Patricia Cuffie-Jones, George Barr McCutcheon, and Joseph Nasser. The original Brewster's movie genre is comedy. Now, hello, Richard Pryor, of course, is going to be comedy. But this one is family and like kid friendly and stuff like that. So definitely like a PG situation. Patricia Cuffie-Jones also directed this film. The cinematographer is Nate Spiger. The music is by Kent Rock, not Kid Rock. The editor is Victor V. Hogan II. Costume design is Andre D. Wilson. And for wardrobe, Laura Corum. And it stars China Ann McClain, who plays Morgan Brewster, the niece of Monty. Romeo Miller, aka Lil Romeo, who plays Andrew. Telma Hawkins, who plays Aunty Brewster. That's literally her name written in the script. Richard Pryor Jr., who reprises his dad's role as Uncle Monty Brewster. Rain Pryor, who is Richard Pryor's daughter, who plays Opal. And Tamika Shannon, who plays Tiffany. So already, when you, not only do we have a sequel that has such a prominent name in comedy, like Richard Pryor is historic in comedy names. Like you just can't not know who Richard Pryor is. And a lot of times we get things where somebody who passed away, studios or just people who appreciate that person who passed away want to do something kind of centering that member and honoring that member, but they don't get rights, they don't get permission, the family's not on board or anything like that. So right away, to know that his daughter, who is his twin, y'all, oh my gosh, she got his whole face. So to know that his daughter and his son are like in it and on board and just kind of bringing that around, I think really adds to the essence of this film and the essence of the Brewster name. Even though it's a fictional story, it's still rooted in the Pryor name. And so when you hear Brewster's Millions, you hear Richard Pryor, and to know that his family is still involved to bring something fresh to this movie in this type of sequel is super beautiful. Now, like I said, in the previous movie, you know, he had 30 days to spend $30 million. He can't get no help. He can't tell nobody about it. For this movie, we follow Morgan Brewster, again played by China Ann McClain, on her quest to inherit her uncle's fortune before Christmas. Amid holiday chaos, she discovers love, faith, and family's importance through giving. Now, how are they similar? Well, in order for her to get his millions, she has to accomplish her own task within 30 days by midnight Christmas Eve, so basically going into midnight Christmas, or she doesn't get the money. So what is actually happening in this film? Well, Morgan is super spoiled. She's super rich. She's a Brewster. She gets by with the Brewster name, and she's kind of just going through life and just kind of coursing through, really privileged, really in like a social elite status, until her aunt is just like, look, you can't just be gallivanting like this. Like, you need to spend time with your family. Like, you're not even the same. Like, I need you to really be grounded. And she's like, listen, I'm going on a trip with my homegirls. It's already paid for. Auntie, I love you, but like, let me live. So Auntie is really worried about the way that she's been living her life. So she's like, okay, you want to live, let me cut off your livelihood. So we are now faced immediately with the thing that Morgan must accomplish in order to inherit Monty's money. And she has 30 days to do it, like I said. So we follow Morgan as she's stripped of all of her millions, all of the lifestyle that she's used to, and she moves into a neighborhood in more of like, it's not like an impoverished neighborhood, but it's just like, it's a neighborhood where, you know, it's middle to lower income families live there, but it's community there. You know, the neighbors know each other and stuff like that. And Andrew and Tiffany are tasked to kind of oversee her task just to make sure that she's following all the rules. She's not allowed to get help. She's not allowed to like buy her way out of things. She has to decorate her own apartment. Like everything she has to do is basically budgeted out, and she can't say anything. And it's basically like just trying to get her to realize like the world revolves around other things and other people than yourself. So one of the tasks is honestly just selflessness, enriching the lives of other people. And she is struggling really on how to do that because she's spoiled and there's not any like younger siblings or anything in her life. So it's just like, how do I go and give people something that I don't know how to give, and I don't even know if I know how to give that to myself. But one of the things that she has going for her is the fact that she's super self-aware of the fact that she is spoiled. And so she's not really lying to the people that she meets along the way, just her regular self and her regular personality, and just being upfront with the fact that she's aloof and she doesn't really connect with everything that's going on with the world. And so because she's not trying to throw her previous lifestyle around, she's able to meet people along the way who find her aloofness endearing, and so therefore they're more welcoming and they're more open to showing her the other side of living without necessarily making it a sob story or anything like that. And so one of the biggest things that I love is that it's like, it's not about her reaching into the depths of some poor person's this, that, and the third and get them from the downtrodden and stuff like that. We find that while she may think not having a lot of money means that, she's seeing that they're still able to live a very fulfilling and enriched life. And so in this journey, we find that one of the reasons that she's kind of living the way that she's been living and kind of carefree and stuff like that, because this is her first year after the death of her uncle. And so like I already said in the beginning, Christmas time can be a time where people are just not happy, and how that manifests can be in so many different ways. And for Morgan, it was avoidance, and it was extreme like shopping and just being really frivolous with some of the monetary decisions that she was making. And Aunty was like, we need to figure out like what is going on. We need to reel her back in. And so let's get her back to that place of humility, the way that we know we raised her, because this is getting out of hand. Now, this wouldn't be a movie worth watching if Morgan did not have a big obstacle. And her biggest obstacle is Tiffany. Tiffany don't want Morgan to take over the company because the only Morgan that she knows is the selfish Morgan, the Morgan that only looks out for herself. And Tiffany is trying to keep a job. She is trying to make sure that she is secure in Q1 and that she can finish out Q4 on top. So she enlists Andrew to help her sabotage Morgan along the way. So for every step Morgan is taking, she seemingly is going 10 steps backwards. But what Morgan ends up finding along the way is that while on the outside it may seem like she's not getting anywhere, the foundation of the friendships that she's made along the way are unshakable. So when she falls, she actually has a place to land outside of the comfort of money and outside the comfort of her own aunt. And so you have all of these elements in this movie that still combines the task of like, oh my God, is she going to be able to make it? And still giving her enough obstacles to really have her, really climb uphill to get this money. And the film doesn't end the way that you typically would think that it would end, especially for a holiday themed movie. And one of the best parts about this film is that it is not centered on love, I guess is what I can say. Like, when you hear holiday movie, you instantly think of Hallmark. You think of, Hallmark. I think the next network you might think of is maybe Lifetime, and then like Netflix and Amazon and stuff like that. And so it's always about like oh my God, I lost the love of my life, but you didn't really lose them, psych, like you got your love in the end. And I just love that this movie goes away from the traditional holiday tropes and really forces the audience to be engrossed in her journey and really be on some will she, won't she. And to my surprise, I found myself like super emotionally overwhelmed. I cried at like 3 scenes. Like I was just like, hold the phone. And I've been watching China and McClain since Daddy's Girl. So to see her go from Daddy's Girl to Disney, and you know, she was in a BET show, House of Pain, and stuff like that. And just to see her in an adult film role, I think it took maybe 5 minutes before I was like, okay, she's not little China and McClain anymore. Is she younger than me? Absolutely. I'm pretty sure she's younger than like 4 of my siblings. But immediately you get to see China step into a role where she gets to still bring the elements that we know her as, but she is a grown woman. She's sophisticated, the way that she looks, the costuming, which is why I mentioned the costume designer and the woman in charge of the wardrobe, because when you're also transitioning from a child star to people taking you seriously as an adult, what you look like in these roles absolutely matter. And we need to visually transition the viewer from seeing this person as a little kid to seeing them as a grown adult. And the clothing design, it was so beautiful and so cute, but what she was in made you look at her and say like, okay, she's stepping into her grown woman role. And Romeo has been growing up on TV for a long time, so I didn't really have this issue with him, but I was very curious as to how China would carry this role outside of Disney and outside of comedy, because she is a comedic genius. And this movie has a sweet surprise, and the surprise is one of the things that had me crying so bad. Like I was sitting on my couch like boo-hooing, happy tears, but it was just really, really nice. And so this movie just took me by surprise in the most beautiful of ways, and I cannot encourage y'all enough to go watch it. Absolutely 10 out of 10 holiday movie, like 10 out of 10. And I'm gonna just be real, like the Black holiday movies that have been coming out, to know that the logline may say, oh, will she find love or will he find love? And then you watch the movie and you're just like, wait a minute. When they kind of give you the Frozen plot twist where it's like, oh, the love of your life, and the love of her life ended up being her sister, and that's how her heart wasn't frozen anymore. It wasn't this man. I'm really loving the twist that these movies are taking and the liberties that they're taking, and just seeing people that look like me, who I always grew up being like, I want a Miracle on such and such street type of movie. And when I go to these small towns and I'm swinging around the light pole that's decorated with the Christmas decorations, because I want to feel that magic, but I want to see it with people who look like me, who live like me, and who share experiences like I do. So to see just the months of October through December and getting an influx of a lot of these films, it's just so good. It just does my heart so well. And now I feel like we're finally getting like a good mix of like holiday movies that we can just rotate through. And I would love to see like some Bollywood like holiday movies. I don't know what the religious things would be, but I would just love to see like a Crazy Rich Asians version of a Christmas movie, or like a New Year's movie, or like Thanksgiving, something crazy and wacky that's 90 minutes or less, that infuses the cultural nuances of whatever they live and how they grow up with the magic of the holiday spirit that we know in American Hollywood and entertainment. So there's that, guys. Brewster's Millions Christmas. As you can see, I love the movie. Highly, highly recommend. I think I just did this whole thing with a smile on my face the entire time. And I'm going to go watch Brewster's Millions because I didn't realize I missed Richard Pryor. until I just kept seeing his daughter's face. And I'm just like, man, we have like some greats. Like, it's just so important to continue to honor their legacies and to produce things that they would be proud of, things that they would actually sign off on. So that just makes me really, really happy. And with that, we are going to wrap up today's episode. That is Wednesday's Hearts for Holidays. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment in the comment box below. You can also leave reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Remember, share that link if you got people that don't want to watch me on YouTube. But you can also find me over on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I share other film and television updates. And then you can always find me popping my collar on Twitter and Blue Sky at Kivanchi. And with that, people, I will catch you in the next one.